my pronouns are they, them, and welcome to my writing vlog where I document writing a first draft while running my indie imprint and also having a 9 to 5. And you can see the light it's very gloomy today. It's just raining without a break, really. So I'm in a bit more of a pensive mood, I think, and it's really weird because when the weather's like this, because I usually write not at home, I write somewhere else. So I go to a coffee shop. I need a bit of buzz around me to write, really. It's it's really strange. Um, I haven't written yesterday. I probably not going to write today, but in a way, I think just taking a bit more time and thinking about the next step is probably the right thing for this manuscript. So, if you're new here, first of all, welcome. I would be so happy if you subscribe and send me a like or comment. I'm writing a short novel called The Sealskin Throne. And the last Saturday, when I had my last firstly writing session, the chapter ended with something that, or the paragraph ended with something that I didn't really plan. So now I have to basically rearrange the whole manuscript around it. I have to adjust place descriptions to make it work. I also probably have to tweak things that are being said before. This happens all the time. That's not something that's just a one-off. But I think I'm probably it makes sense to take a bit more time. I am very strongly habit forming, so it can feel really weird when I say, "Oh, I'm not going to write today." Mm, but sometimes slowing down, and throughout the whole of this season of the writing vlog, it definitely felt as if I am operating on a at a much slower speed than in the first one, where I had, I think, like 3 months, and I steamed through a manuscript that was going to be probably around 100,000 words. This one is probably going to be, I don't know, 40 to 50,000. So it's not half the time, but it almost feels as if or half the extent, but it almost feels as if I'm doing it much more bit for bit. Again, that might be because it's like a more plot centered thing, but then stuff happens like on Saturday where I basically explode the whole outline. And I think it's because I'm sort of hashing out the motivations of the characters, and I'm still, I have sort of the twist that was there from the beginning, but I don't want to arrive there in a too straightforward manner. I want to give it a bit more consideration. So I think that's why I'm slowing down and why I'm having more gap days than usual. Um, and obviously, it's also because I'm having too many manuscripts that are waiting to be picked up and have another draft created from them as it is. I also have a manuscript that I've sort of first draft manuscript that I finished sort of 3/4 of the way through and then put aside. And I need to decide what to do with that. because I know I want to continue, but I'm not quite sure how to do that with how my process works. So yes, that's sort of things I'm thinking about. Um, as always happens, I'm also collecting ideas again. But what I'm now thinking is that I might try to take a deliberate break between the Sealskin Throne and whatever comes next. Um, because I didn't do that before, and that's quite normal for me that I sort of barge from one manuscript into another. I think I didn't even have like a gap of a day between them. And maybe I need to, yeah, just pace myself a bit more. Um, and because I mentioned before that because the Seaskin Throne is shorter, I'm also going through sort of the big ups and downs I go through with manuscripts much in a much shorter time space. And I think I'm trying to ration out sort of the weirdnesses that come up. Because even though I had a more strict outline for this one from the beginning, I'm always deviating because, yeah, I'm finding out by writing about the characters. And then in the end, I have to weave in all the bits and pieces. And what I did on Saturday um, will have quite a bit of a. Like, there's going to be a chain reaction running all through the second draft, like stuff that I have to tweak, as I said. And I'm thinking about that. Um, and I'm guessing that this is going to be a manuscript where I'm actually adding scenes afterwards to make some motivations clearer or to just give a bit more time here and there. And that's an interesting experience as well, because with my previous vlog about Dragonborge, this was much more. Oh yes, I have a setting, I have some characters, let's go. I don't know where it's going to end up, but let's go. And this one is I know exactly where it's going to end up, but yeah, the journey is sort of the more complicated bit. It's not quite as joyful. Um, I think also because I'm not playing on a familiar playground. I'm discovering the setting with my characters, and it puts me in a very different situation. And these are all the things that I'm thinking about while I'm finishing another show for the community shop, because they sold two of those, one in October, one in November, and I want to replace one of them um, before Christmas. So there's a chance of someone finding it. Um, these scarves, especially this one, has some silk in it. You can see like the bright orange bits are silk. They're quite expensive, so they usually don't fly out the door. They tend to be in the shop for up to a year, sometimes I think more. Um, but this is of the right time of year for people to discover them and buy them. I mean, they are pretty one of a kind, which is sort of the whole shtick, really, with my yarn stuff. So yeah, I'm also the next one is going to be a birthday present for my dad. So it's going to be a scarf, but a very like straightforward scarf. but also with a bit of silk shot through. And then I want to knit myself some really thick woolly socks as well. I've spun the yarn for that. Um, so that's another thing that I've on my to-do list while I'm sort of pondering and thinking and listening to the rain outside. Um, just wondering how on earth I'm going to get out of the situation I rolled myself in. Um, Usually, what works is walking or swimming, but as I said, it's raining without pause today, so I'm probably not going to make it out of the house. Maybe to put the bin out, but that's probably going to be it. Um, but I think I also need to make sure that I don't put more pressure than necessary on myself to write fast, because there's no reason to write fast. I should write when I have something to write, when I'm sort of have more of a plan somehow. Thing is that often the plan comes when I sit down, and um, I mentioned in the last vlog that I've been looking at like beautiful inks and fountain pens. Um, Even though I know that if I would carry like an ink bottle with me, that would it's disaster waiting to happen. Really, I mean, a small one will probably be fine, but not a big one. Um, so like a fountain pen with sort of a converter or with a refillable thing. Don't know whether that's actually going to work, but I'm still, yeah. I think that's part of the whole thing. Is sort of looking at trying to sort of the belief that if you make something beautiful, it's going to be easier, and that's usually not the case. Um, but so if you are part of all the stuff that goes on at the moment, while I'm again in a strange position with my work in progress. Um, and while the year is drawing to a close and everything's very suddenly very Christmassy, just like a week after Halloween, everything has switched to another holiday, and sort of adds to the sense that time is just rushing forward. I'd rather stand or sit a bit more in this late autumn feeling of sort of everything's falling not asleep, but yeah, just everything's slowing down. Um, Christmas is always connected for me with hectic and sort of, oh, I need to get these things done before such and such a date. And yeah, I'm not, that's not really what I'm about. Um, but this week, I'm going to have another event, the local author showcase, which was amazing last year. I'm really looking forward to it. Um, I booked a slightly larger table than last year because I have more books, and I'm a bit worried about like cramming them all onto half a table and crowding out another author who might get annoyed with me. So I opted for actually paying for a bigger table. Um, Also because it's very local, so I won't have as much like petrol cost and stuff. And I'm going to take you with me to the event, of course. Um, and hopefully we meet lots of lovely people. See you in a bit. It's Wednesday and I've been to the market. It's just a very small call today because I still have stuff from last week. And yeah, I just got some cabbage because cabbage is, I don't know, I just like cabbage. Um, some green beans because I made like a bean stew yesterday, and I think it's always nice to have a few fresh beans in there as well. So I'm going to add them today. Then sort of a variety pack of mushrooms, and the cinnamon roll people were there again. So I bought another lovely roll. I think this one is sort of maple bacon bourbon. It sounded just strange enough that yes, I need to try it. So that's going to be my lunch slash afternoon treat. And then I also pop by the shop to bring in my orange scarf. So they have it to sell and start the next project that's going to be a present um, for Christmas because that's coming up very soon now. And I declared a fair, yeah, I think a good writing session. I'm just started chapter 18 and we're sort of now in the action heavy phase of the manuscript. And that's been fun. It's also, yeah, just not what I expected at all. Like who's there with the main character and how things are transpiring. I definitely need to, when I go back, I definitely need to strengthen the motives throughout, just to make really clear what the objective is at every point. Because at the moment, I think it's wavering a bit too much. Um, so yeah, left myself another 10,000 notes on the manuscript as well, as usual. But I think we're making good progress. So at the moment, the 24 is what I'm going towards. It might be over earlier, like maybe 20. I don't know. It's sort of, we are wrapping, like stuff is going towards the climax. And then I think that's sort of where I am now. But today I sort of felt the pull again, which was good because I didn't have that too much so much yesterday, where I've sort of yes, I want to keep writing, yes, and sort of, and often that happens when there's dialogue that I enjoy writing, but obviously that there needs to be action too. But usually the dialogue gets me into the scene and into the what's happening. Um, and this was the case today. So I'm a bit relieved that I was able to have such a good writing sprint today. Um, and then, yeah, um, going to have to prepare for the weekend a bit, sort of um, make sure everything's charged. Basically, I have my power bank charged and stuff like this. I think stock wise, I should be fine. And I'm going to go to IKEA in a couple of weeks' time, I think, to or next week, to buy some sort of boxes for stock. Might have mentioned that before. Um, so I can keep them safe over the winter because I don't really can't really keep them in the car forever and ever. Um, or at least have them like a bit more sorted than they are at the moment if they need to be in the car. So yeah, that's sort of the next objective before Christmas break is to get everything sort of squirreled away. Um, and then yeah, I also brought back three books to the library because I'm now on like I've started reading Strange Beasts yesterday, and it's really enjoyable. So I'm like almost halfway through. Because after that, I see what I need to do is to finally start tackling my electronic TBR. Because the thing is, because on the shelf, at least you see them. If they're just in your library, I think I need to maybe trick myself into doing the electronic TBR in the way that people do their physical ones, where when they have um like these jars with um it's almost like a lottery thing. Um I, like little pieces of paper, and then I pull one out. I might have to do something similar where I go through the list and just or do like the plant-based bride does like a read it or unhaul it thing at the moment, where she does like it's like a wheel spinning like a and then you randomly have something that gets chosen for you. Maybe I need to do something like this just to mix it up a bit, because I think I'm a mood reader, but the thing is, when the books come from the library, I just have more incentive to actually start them, which is why sometimes I go to the library, and if I know, oh, I have the electronic version, I might then actually borrow the hardback just to get something off my TBR. Yeah, maybe I need to trick myself in some way or other. But apart from that, yeah, writing's going okay, reading is going well, um, and now we are in present making phase for the knitting. I might have enough scraps to do another scrappy one for the shop, or at least for my very last event of the year. I might um, try and do one of those, and then we'll see where it all goes. Okay, see you in a bit. It's Sunday, and I've just returned from the lake. I did a bit of writing, but actually, even though I had my first swimming session with my gloves on, um, there was quite a bit of a cold wind, and my hands froze up too much to write for a long time. But we're getting there. We are now at the sort of the pivotal scene where the main character realizes like stuff is starting to fall into place. What has probably happened? I want her to go a bit further. It's not all the mystery there is, but sort of the some bits are falling into place, and that's really enjoyable to write. Apart from that, yesterday I had the Newbury Library Author Showcase, which was also really nice. I met a lot of amazing local authors. I think there were a couple that I'd met last year already, but most of them were new. So we had like lots of lovely conversations. There wasn't that much footfall, astonishingly, even though they had sort of advertised it a lot. I there was some sort of to do in the town, so it might be just that people weren't coming into the library that day. I don't know, but lots of my friends who are local came to see me, and then I sold a couple of books, which was okay. And the nice thing is because it's sort of my local library, I didn't have to. It's almost around the corner. I didn't have a lot of sort of trouble getting there. I knew exactly where it was, so it was just a really nice thing, and also just um, to do stuff with the library. I always think that's really important. Also to have like this connection in case of future events. I had some people coming up asking whether I would do like school talks as well, especially maybe for Pride Month next year. So I say, yeah, absolutely open to that. Because that's something that I've been considering for the yarn stuff. But there was one person who basically said she tried to get someone like a writer to talk to students about writing queer books. So I said, yeah, it sounds totally up my street. Um, very happy to do something like that. So maybe that's going to be something that will happen in the future. I don't know. Um, there was in the last craft market as well someone who asked me whether I would do school stuff. So yeah. Um, and apart from that, I'm really needing to sit down and work on the beta reader feedback for a season of Frosted Blossom because I haven't had done that now. I have had like feedback from 3 people, and 2 of them like will require more work. I've also had my last pass through the EPUB file. So yeah, so I think next week that's going to be the big thing that happens. Like plus me getting to do things that might get the seaskin thrown like further towards the end. I'm in chapter 19 now, so there's not that much to go, but let's see. And yeah, apart from that, um, I'm going to buy some storage boxes for books next week and just have a, try to have a bit more of a quiet weekend, I think. There's one more event coming up in December, which is sort of a yarn slash books event. And that's the one where I'm sort of a bit thinking to myself whether I should do it like either books or either yarn, or if I do like a smaller yarn section, for example. Um, maybe that's a good thing to do. I'll have to give it some thought. But given that the last 2 markets I've done at that location, I only sold books and I didn't sell yarn. Um, I think I definitely need to take the box. And that's it. So this week was, yeah, pretty. I don't. It felt a bit intense, weirdly, although it wasn't hyper busy. I think also because the days are definitely drawing in now. The trees are almost bare, and the whole vibe has changed a bit. It's now from today onwards, the temperatures are supposed to go down, um, and so everyone's settling in, it seems. So I'll do a bit more of the same, like put some candles on and cozy up. There's a German expression which I love that's Einigeln, which means something akin to hedgehogging, like be a little hedgehog on your sofa in your blanket with your tea. Um, and I think that's going to be my preferred activity for at least until Christmas. If you like my more informal style of vlogging, not highly aestheticized, I think, because my life isn't highly aestheticized. It's a jumble of spinning wheels, balls of yarn, dried flowers, and books. Then why not subscribe and drop me a thumbs up? And if you subscribe to my newsletter, linked in the description below, I will send you a free sign-up gift in the form of an EPUB file of the first volume of my Slow Moon series, which the sixth volume has released yesterday. So as of today, it's actually out there in the world in its complete form, which is very exciting. But because it's a sixth volume, it's sort of, I don't need to hype myself up to be glad about it. It feels just slightly surreal that we've come this far in 2 years. So that's all for me. Thank you so much for watching and see you soon.